Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Are you saying that humans are holding back? Alien stunned. Commander Vex Lore scratched his eye stalks in frustration, nearly knocking over his 7th cup of Xanti brew. For the love of the 7 moons, can someone explain why these humans keep surviving things they absolutely should not? The research vessel Cosmic Curiosity hung in orbit around Earth, cloaked from detection. It wasn't the most impressive ship in the Galactic Federation fleet, more of a floating laboratory with engines attached, but it served its purpose, observing the peculiar bipeds of Sol 3 without them knowing. "Sir, perhaps you should take a break," suggested Lieutenant PX, her blue scales shimmering under the lab lights. "You've been watching footage of human extreme sports for 26 consecutive hours. Break? You want me to take a break?" Vexer laughed so hard his antenna vibrated. "These creatures jump off mountains with nothing but fabric to slow their fall. They swim with apex predators for fun, and you're telling me to rest?" Dar. Tfin, the team xenobiologist, waddled over on her short tentacled legs. "Commander, Pax is right. Your hormone sacs are showing signs of stress, plus we have new data to review from the planetary survey." The research team consisted of 12 specialists from across the Federation. There was Quix, the communications expert with photosensitive skin who wore specialized darkening suits, Zoran, the beefy security officer whose species evolved from something resembling Earth's rhinoceros, Ma and Lauren, twin analysts from the gas planets of Beltrixos who finished each other's sentences and shared a hive mind, Professor Bino, the ancient historian whose 5 eyes could read multiple documents simultaneously. "Fine," Vex Lore threw all 4 of his arms up in surrender. "Brief me on the latest observations, but I'm telling you, something doesn't add up about these humans." Ta projected a hologram in the center of the lab. Earth rotated slowly, certain areas highlighted in pulsing red. "Commander, we've been monitoring their global communication networks as per protocol," Ta began, tapping one tentacle nervously against the console, "and, well, there's something weird going on." "Weird how, exactly?" Vex Lore leaned forward, all 3 of his hearts beating faster with anticipation. Zoran stepped forward, clearing his throat with a sound like grinding rocks. "Sir, according to our calculations and everything we know about sentient evolution, humans should be way more advanced than they are." Vexer stared at the rotating Earth hologram, his compound eyes narrowing. "You're saying they're holding back?" The entire team fell silent. "Now that," Vexer whispered, "would explain a lot." "Roll the footage again, Commander," Vexer commanded, leaning so close to the projection that his eye stalks nearly touched it. "And slow it down at timestamp 3426. The lab dimmed as the holographic display expanded. A human female, unremarkable by their standards with brown hair pulled into what they called a ponytail, was working in what humans designated a garage. Nothing special there. "Freeze it," Vexer jabbed a clawed finger at the image. Lieutenant Pax squinted. "It's just a human tinkering with primitive transportation technology, sir." "No, no, no," Vex's voice rose an octave. "Look at her hands. What do you see?" The team crowded around. The human was connecting wires to a circuit board, her fingers moving with practiced precision. Professor Bino's 5 eyes blinked in sequence. "She's building something that doesn't match any known human consumer product in our database." "Exactly." Vex Lore slapped the console with excitement. "Computer, analyze the components and extrapolate functionality." A mechanical voice responded, "Analysis complete. The human is constructing a rudimentary quantum field stabilizer. Estimated efficiency, 12% of Federation standard." Shocked gasps rippled through the research team. But that's impossible," M stammered. "They shouldn't have that technology for at least 300 years, Lauren finished. Zoran crossed his massive arms. "Must be a mistake. Run it again." 3 more analyses yielded the same result. The ordinary human, Jessica Chen, according to their identity database, was casually building quantum technology in her garage, and using parts from what appeared to be everyday appliances. This changes everything. Vexer paced frantically, his tail knocking over research equipment. Check other surveillance footage. I want every instance of humans building things in their homes analyzed immediately. Dar. T's tentacles worked furiously across multiple screens. Commander, you're not going to believe this. We found 67 similar instances in the past Earth month alone. Humans calling themselves hobbyists and makers are unknowingly developing components that, if combined correctly, could create everything from rudimentary teleportation devices to non-lethal plasma weapons. Non-lethal? Quix whispered. Why would advanced weapons be non-lethal? Vex Lore's expression darkened. Because they're deliberately limiting themselves. The question is why? Professor Bino cleared his throat. Commander, there's more. I've been cross-referencing their entertainment media with their technological capabilities. Their science fiction consistently predicts advancements decades before implementation, yet they delay development. You're telling me, Vex Lore said slowly, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper, that humans choose to drive combustion vehicles when they could have mastered gravity manipulation by now? The evidence suggests, Ta concluded grimly, that they're restraining their technological progression intentionally. No, absolutely not. This is ridiculous. Lieutenant Pax slammed her scaled fist on the conference table. Humans can't possibly be hiding advanced capabilities. They still kill each other over arbitrary territorial boundaries. The emergency meeting of the research team had devolved into chaos within minutes. Half the team thought they'd made a groundbreaking discovery, the other half insisted it was a misinterpretation of the data. Commander Vex Lore raised all four hands. They quiet. We are scientists, not politicians. We follow the evidence, period. Zoran snorted, steam rising from his nostril slits. With all due respect, Commander, the evidence is circumstantial at best. So a few humans accidentally build components that resemble our tech. Cosmic coincidence. Is it, though? Dr. T projected a new set of data streams. I've compiled 300 years of human technological progress. Look at this curve. The hologram showed an exponential growth line that suddenly flattened right around their 1970s. Advancement in certain key areas just stopped, Ta explained, her tentacles gesturing expressively. Computing power continued to grow, yes, but propulsion technology, energy production, material science. They make incremental improvements when they should be making quantum leaps. Professor Bino nodded sagely. Consider their space program. They reached their moon, then nothing for decades. Why? Limited resources, suggested Quix. Ha! Vexer barked a laugh. They spend more on what they call entertainment and sports than space exploration. No, something else is holding them back. Perhaps they're afraid, Em and Lauren spoke in their unsettling unison. The room fell silent. Computer, Vex Lore ordered, run simulation Alpha 9. If humans had continued technological advancement at the rate established in their early 20th century, where would they be now? The AI processed for several seconds before displaying a new Earth surrounded by orbital habitats, with clear evidence of lunar and Martian colonization. And their weapon systems? Zoran asked quietly. The simulation updated to show defense systems that made even the hardened security officer flinch. By the void, whispered Pax, her earlier skepticism evaporating. They could potentially challenge mid-tier Federation worlds. Vexer nodded grimly. Exactly. Which raises the most important question, what are they waiting for? We need more data, Dr. T decided. Direct observation won't be enough. I propose we deploy surface probes to the locations of these makers and hobbyists. Too risky, countered Zoran. If humans are concealing their capabilities, they might detect our technology. Professor Bino's 5 eyes blinked thoughtfully. What about their information networks? This internet they use seems remarkably open. Quicks brightened. Actually, that's brilliant. We've been monitoring their communications, but what if we participated? Explain, demanded Vex Lore. We create virtual human identities and interact with these maker communities. Ask questions, see how they respond to theoretical technological concepts beyond their supposed capabilities. Vex Lore's mandibles twitched with excitement. Make it happen. Quicks, set up the virtual identities. Ma, Lauren, you'll handle interactions. Your hive mind makes you most adaptable to unpredictable conversations. Ta, Bino, prepare technological concepts that should be beyond them. We'll see how they respond. Zoran rumbled skeptically. And what happens when the Galactic Council learns we're actively engaging with a pre-FTL species? Commander Vex Lore's compound eyes gleamed with determination. If I'm right about humans, contact protocols may soon be irrelevant anyway. They what? Commander Vex Lore's voice reached a pitch that made the lab equipment vibrate. Quicks winced, his photosensitive skin darkening under his protective suit. Sir, I'm just reporting what happened. Our virtual identities were compromised. 2 Earth weeks had passed since the research team began their infiltration of human maker communities. The results had been disturbing, to say the least. Run me through it again, Vex Lore demanded, all 3 hearts pounding erratically. Slowly this time. Ma and Lauren exchanged nervous glances before beginning their report. We created 15 virtual human identities across various forums and social media platforms, Ma explained. Each identity expressed interest in theoretical technologies we calculated to be 200 to 300 years beyond current human capabilities, Lauren continued. And? Vex Lore prompted impatiently. And they responded with enthusiasm, Ma said. It's not confusion or dismissal, enthusiasm, Lauren added. Dar. T's tentacles twisted anxiously. Show him the transcript from Identity 7's conversation. A holographic chat log appeared. Virtual Identity 7, has anyone experimented with quantum entanglement as a communication method? Just theorizing. Maker_guy_458, funny you should ask. I'm tinkering with something similar in my basement. Nothing fancy, just modified some old router parts with a few crystals I grew. Getting weird results but definitely faster than light data transfer, even if it's just binary for now. Happy to share my setup if you're interested. Physics_nerd_2000 at maker_guy_458 LOL. Stop giving away the good stuff to newbies. But seriously, check your containment field. Last time someone tried this without proper shielding, it fried every electronic device for a mile. This is problematic, Professor Bino understated, blinking his 5 eyes in sequence. They're casually discussing technology that most Federation worlds consider military grade. It gets worse, Zoran growled. After these exchanges, all our virtual identities were blocked within hours. Some users sent private messages first. Another transcript appeared. Quantum_Queen, hey friend, friendly advice, if you're going to pretend to be human, try using more contractions and fewer perfectly structured sentences. Also, your questions about our tech are way too specific for a curious hobbyist. Just letting you know before the mods boot you. No hard feelings. Laughing face. Commander Vex Lore's eye stalks drooped in disbelief. They knew. How could they possibly know? We don't think they knew we were aliens, Quicks clarified quickly. Just that we weren't genuine human participants. Small comfort, Vex Lore snapped. The Council will have my exoskeleton for this breach of protocol. Lieutenant Pax, who had been quietly analyzing data in the corner, suddenly spoke up. Sir, I think I found something. The timing of our virtual identities being discovered correlates with unusual encrypted data bursts originating from Earth. Meaning? Vex Lord demanded. Meaning someone was actively tracking and investigating us, using methods that shouldn't be possible with public human technology. The research vessel suddenly shuddered, klaxons blaring throughout the ship. What now? Vex Lord bellowed over the alarms. Zoran rushed to the security console, his massive frame tensing. Commander, our cloaking field is failing. Something from the planet's surface is scanning us. The main view screen activated automatically, showing a human face, a middle-aged male with dark skin and a neatly trimmed beard, wearing what appeared to be casual Earth clothing. Greetings, visitors, the human said, speaking perfect Galactic standard. I'm Director Marcus Powell of Earth's Covert Response to Extraterrestrial Surveillance, CRES for short. We've been aware of your presence for some time now. He smiled pleasantly, though the effect was somewhat unsettling given the circumstances. Perhaps we should meet in person. Your choice of location, of course. We'd hate for you to feel uncomfortable. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the research team in stunned silence. Commander Vex Lore finally found his voice. Well, that certainly qualifies as going wrong. The meeting location was, to Commander Vex Lore's complete bafflement, a small diner on the outskirts of a city called Phoenix. His research team sat crammed into a red vinyl booth, each wearing hastily configured holographic disguises that made them appear human. This is insane, Vexer hissed, struggling to manage the bizarre human appendages his disguise projected. Meeting with pre-FTL natives. The Council will execute us all. With respect, Commander, Zoran rumbled quietly, I think traditional protocol is no longer relevant. Director Powell entered the diner alone, sliding casually into the booth across from them. He ordered coffee from a waitress who seemed oblivious to the fact that 5 of the people at the table weren't people at all. So, Powell began, stirring his coffee leisurely. Your holographic disguises are impressive, though the mannerisms need work. You should order something. Martha makes excellent pancakes. We're not here to consume nutrients, Vexer snapped, then caught himself. I mean, we're not hungry, thanks. Powell laughed. Relax, Commander. We've known about the Galactic Federation for decades. You're not the first observation team we've detected. The research team exchanged alarmed glances. Impossible, Professor Bino declared. Federation cloaking technology is fairly predictable in its quantum fluctuations, Powell finished with a shrug. Once you know what to look for, it's like spotting a zebra in a horse race. Dr. Ta's holographic human face couldn't hide her shock. But how did you even know to look? Powell sipped his coffee. Let's just say we had some hints. He placed a small device on the table and activated it. A field of static surrounded their booth, presumably for privacy. What I'm about to share is known to less than 100 humans, Powell continued, his casual tone evaporating. Earth was visited in 1947 by a non-Federation species. Hostile ones. They made it abundantly clear what happens to civilizations that advance too quickly. The Carillion Empire, Zoran growled. It had to be. Powell nodded. After that encounter, world leaders made a decision, appear primitive while quietly preparing. Each major technological breakthrough is carefully controlled, released to the public in diluted form while the advanced versions remain classified. But the Internet? Quix asked. Your information network is remarkably open. Powell smiled. Best place to hide secrets is in plain sight, mixed with conspiracy theories and science fiction. Nobody believes the truth when it's sandwiched between alien abduction stories and flat Earth theories. The hobbyists we observed? Vexer pressed. Some are genuinely unaware of what they're building. Others are part of our distributed research network, brilliant minds working on advanced tech without knowing the full picture. Only a handful know everything. Vex Lore's disguised form slumped back. So humans have been pretending to be less advanced to avoid attracting attention. Powell's expression hardened. We learned from historical precedent. When technologically superior civilizations discover less advanced ones, it rarely ends well for the latter. So we decided to be ready before announcing ourselves to the galactic community. Ready for what, exactly? Zoran asked, tension evident in his voice. Powell looked each disguised alien directly in the eyes. Anything. Panic among the Galactic Council. This is outrageous. High Counselor Nezera slammed all 6 appendages onto the luminescent council table. And you not only violated non-contact protocols but had a meal with them? The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been called immediately after Commander Vex Lore's report reached Federation headquarters. Representatives from 27 species sat in tiered seating around a circular chamber, most looking either furious or terrified. Vexer stood in the center, his research team behind him. With respect, Counselor, the humans contacted us, and what they revealed changes everything we thought we knew about Sol 3. Surd, scoffed Counselor THXS, his insectoid mandibles clicking rapidly. You expect us to believe a primitive species has been pretending to be underdeveloped? For what possible purpose? Protection, Vex Lore stated firmly. After an encounter with Carillion scouts. The chamber erupted in panic chatter. Silence, bellowed Grand Arbiter Pelx, the ancient amphibian who led the council. Commander, these are serious claims. The Carillion Empire has been contained behind the quantum barrier for centuries. Perhaps not as contained as we thought, Zoran muttered, earning a sharp look from Vex Lore. Dr. T stepped forward nervously. Honorable Council, we've compiled evidence supporting the humans' claims. Their technological achievements, while hidden, are real. She projected a series of images showing human facilities deep underground, orbital satellites with impossible capabilities, and energy signatures that should not exist on a supposedly developing world. By the Great Void, whispered Counselor Drex, the Federation's premier military strategist. If these readings are accurate. They are, Dr. T confirmed. Triple verified. Counselor Sephra of the Diplomatic Corps shuddered, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with anxiety. What did these humans want? Why reveal themselves now? They didn't say exactly, Vex Lore admitted, but they implied they've detected increased Carillion activity beyond the barrier. The council chamber fell deathly quiet. Grand Arbiter Pelx's ancient eyes narrowed. And you believe these humans, with their hidden technology, might be allies against the Carillions? I believe, Vexer said carefully, that humanity has been preparing for war while we've been enjoying peace. And if the Carillions are returning, we might need humans more than they need us. Preposterous. Counselor THCK buzzed angrily. We should quarantine Sol 3 immediately. Counselor Drex shook his massive head. Too late for that. If their technology is as advanced as these readings suggest, any quarantine would be symbolic at best. The council erupted into frantic arguments once more, fear and indecision sweeping through the chamber like a virus. Enough, roared Grand Arbiter Pelx. Commander Vex Lore, your new orders are simple: return to Earth, open official first contact protocols, find out exactly what these humans are capable of and what they want. The truth behind human restraint. The official first contact delegation landed at a remote facility in what humans called New Mexico, a flat desert landscape that Commander Vex Lore found uncomfortably bright. The Federation diplomats, scientists, and security personnel were greeted by a human delegation led by Director Powell. Welcome to Earth, Powell said simply.